Yeah, I did all the research for a bow. I did all the research for a Weatherby 6.5 RPM. And I doubt if I'm going to do it. But I did all the research. I had some free time. So I was saying, okay, we're going to get this gun. We're going to get this, you know, all this gear. I knew exactly all the gear I needed. Backpack, you know, the pack out, initial ascent packs, and you know, the whole fucking shebang. Oot to not much. Man. Yeah, see, this won't be... Now, see, Gritty might come up here and they might park the truck here, load up their packs with their sleeping bag, hot tent, and every fucking thing. Enough food for 10 days, 2.5 pounds a day, food a day. They pack out of here with 65 pounds on their back, 22 pounds, give or take, of food. They got water here. All they eat are like Mountain Ops pre-packaged food where you just add hot water, boom, that type of shit. And one a day, or you know, whatever it is, whatever they figure, you know, eat a peanut butter bar for breakfast, have a ramen soup for lunch, and have a fucking Mountain Ops for dinner. That's it. And the most of their weight is right there, that water weight. Let me see if it's... But yeah, interesting, isn't it? Man, they sure do some gritty hunts. But I will say one thing, man. I'm not sure, but you know, for one thing, they did a tar hunt. That's what these animals are called, tar. And they made a couple of shots late in the day on a couple of tar. They did get to one of them, but they didn't get to the other one. And I don't think they recovered it because they never had another video on it. So in other words, they kill animals and sometimes they don't recover them. They don't think about recovery. You know, they just shoot them for shoot. In other words, waste. Now, I'll tip my hat if I'm wrong, but I don't think they recovered that second tar. And there's only one person that is going to verify that. And that's the guy that went out there with them that was supposed to do a lot of packing for them. Their guide, I guess, or whatever, who had 2 bum knees. He finally realized that he's going to end up being a mule for him. You know what I'm saying? He was a cameraman, but they take another person along to do the grunt work of muling, you know, packing shit up the mountain. But in any case, there was also another time where they shot a bear early in the show. It was a 10-day hunt or something, and they showed them putting a bear carcass, you know, the meat, inside of a plastic bag and inside of a river like this. And you know, did it stay good that whole time? Who knows? They also showed this one guy, I think his name is Grady Miller. But anyways, he took this 675-yard shot at a moose. Now, he made the shot. But at that range, with that type of drift on the bullet, there was some drift on the bullet, he did make the kill shot. But he was just as likely to mortally wound that animal, or wound the animal where they cannot recover it. In other words, if a moose can travel some ungodly amount of miles, like 20 miles in a half an hour. You know, they can trot at 35 miles an hour for half an hour straight. In other words, they could have mortally wounded that animal just as easily as making that kill at 675 yards. That is a very unethical shot. But he made the shot. It was a good shot. But he would be the first one to admit that he was probably 30% to wound the animal. He was probably 30% to mortally wound the animal, 30% to make the kill shot, and probably 10% he would miss completely. But the point being, it was a high risk shot. You know, a lot of hunters won't take that shot because you're going to waste the meat. You're not going to be able to recover the meat. The animal will die out in La La Land, and if they did make the shot and they did mortally wound the animal and it did travel 5-10 miles, they tracked it for 5 miles with a blood trail, and right there you got to start thinking, okay, somehow we got to tell the camera that we lost the trail, because there's no way they're going to be able to pack that thing out from that distance. They were already at about a 3-mile distance to pack that moose out. 2 guys, they did 1, 2, 3 trips. Each person carried 120 pounds. On the 3rd trip, they had another guy, the 3rd guy in their party, help them. But they were 3 miles out. It took 2 guys, 2 trips, and then 1 trip with 3 guys to pack that animal out. Do you know how long it takes to pack up an animal? It's already been quartered and everything. I believe you have to leave the bones in there. You know what I'm saying? It's required by law. You can't debone the animal. So all the quarters have the bones in them. And, you know, they had to pack out each quarter. That's about 1 pack right there of meat. And then, of course, the dude that shot the bull, very big bull moose. Sorry if I've been saying elk. But anyways, man, you know, a guy like myself, I would not be able to do that. Because even, say they tracked that animal 5 miles and they did finally recover it. The time it takes them to pack out that first thing and get back to it, it's going to be fucking half eaten by grizzlies. Unless, of course, they hung it from the trees and shit, but you get what I'm saying. Either way, it's a very, very rigid. That was a very risky shot to take a 675-yard shot. You're just as equally prone to mortally wound the animal and not be able to recover it. Mr. Miller, just so you know. These guys do some gritty hunts, but they do some unethical stuff too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they don't... What if they would have mortally wounded the animal and tracked it? And, you know, I don't think they would have even shown that video if he would have wounded it and it ran. They would have edited it out. They wouldn't have even shown it. Anyways, let's go. I'm fucking breeding Mechabili into all these goddamn stories, aren't I? I enjoy watching the Gritty series. I've watched a bunch of their movies. They're deer hunting, mule deer, moose, elk. They're very gritty. They don't do hunts that the above average hunter can do. The top flight hunters won't do their hunts. They're too rigorous. It's a small window for people that can manage those kind of hunts. And that window is cut in half because the people that can do those hunts, they're not going to do them. They can do them, but they're not going to do them because it's too rigorous. So the window becomes smaller as to who will do hunts like that. But I'll tell you what, they did some mule deer hunts here, and they had got some fucking giant mule deer that you will not get in the lowlands. They actually probably hunted in fucking Idaho. Something like this, and hike another 10 miles to another draw that's off in the distance, which nobody is going to be there. hunters put in that much work to get a mule deer. But I'll tell you what, man, the mule deers that they got on that trip, man, they were fucking beautiful. Big, giant rack muleys. Just for sake of clarity, you know, Stephen Ranello, Meat Eater, he's the king of the YouTube channel videos. I mean, his videos get 1.5 million. A lot of his videos have 1.5 million views. He's got 1.5 million subscribers. He is capable of doing this type of gritty hunt. He's capable, but he's not going to do it because he never does it. He doesn't do those kind of, those are too gritty. Dude, I'm talking some serious elevation climbing. Oh my God. You know, Ranello doesn't do, he does some, but nothing really like the gritty series. And he'll be the first one to admit, no, I don't do it that difficult. If you know what I mean. Okay, man, it's time to focus here. Last thing you want to do is get carried away bullshitting and hit a big boulder that washes out your front tire. Boom, you end up on the ground. Because you're not paying attention. Like somebody a truck turned around right here, said I had enough. Well, the end of the line is right over yonder, so